This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, Rank It returns as I rank one of my favorite comedy series of all time. It starred Jason Lee. It is called My Name Is Earl, and we're going to rank all 4 seasons. Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week on the show, Rank It returns. Now, doing a Rank It for this particular series is kind of difficult in a way because it didn't last very long. The show itself only lasted 4 seasons on NBC. So it just barely makes my requirements for what I do for a Rank It. To make it in a Rank It, I have to watch every episode that was created, and it has to last more than 2 seasons. So something like Dark Angel would not get a Rank It because I don't think I've seen every episode, and there was only 2 seasons of that. But this show had 4 seasons on NBC, and it was a funny show with a great premise. Down on his luck loser, ne'er-do-well criminal, gets a $10,000 lottery ticket and is immediately hit by a passing car. There in the hospital, he decides he's going to turn his life around and devote his life to karma. Do good things and good things happen. Do bad things and bad things happen. I think that's a good lesson in life, honestly. And this show just brought it out so well. We're talking about My Name is Earl this week. It starred Jason Lee as the title character of Earl, and just had a great supporting cast and great guest stars as well. Beau Bridges starred as his father, so you know it was really good then when you have the dude's little brother starring, or it was Jeff Bridges' little brother. Either way, Beau Bridges plays Earl's father, and it's just a fantastic show. And we're going to be ranking all 4 seasons of My Name is Earl today. And we're going to start with, now, you got to remember when I'm counting them down like this, just because it's number 4 doesn't mean I didn't like it, because I did enjoy this season, but I felt that this one's a lot weaker than the other seasons before and after it. So, with that being said, let's talk about, coming in at number 4 on the list of Rank It, Season 3 of My Name is Earl. When Season 4 kicks off, Earl is in jail for a crime he didn't commit, but he admitted to. We'll get into that when we talk about Season 2. Along the way, he's helping an inept prison guard. The inept prison guard is his brother, Randy, but we're talking about the inept warden of the prison, played wonderfully by Craig T. Nelson from Coach fame, and he also was in Poltergeist. And he also voices Mr. Incredible in The Incredibles 2 coming out. Well, we'll get to that another day. So for every good deed that Earl does around the prison, it takes time off of his sentence, because he's convicted for 2 years for Grand Theft Auto. So for every good deed he's doing, the warden will take off some time to the point where he gets, he finally has about 6 months left in his sentence. And, Earl, if you do this, you're free to go. Well, the warden figures, wait a minute, if I let go of Earl, I'm letting go of a good thing. So it's like, no. Gets rid of all his certificates saying that he has time off for good behavior, which leads to one of the funniest prison breaks I've ever seen in TV or movies. Along the way, we're introduced to Billy, who is Frank, one of the inmates, his girlfriend, who eventually becomes married to Earl along the way, played wonderfully by Alyssa Milano. She did a great job in this season, and she plays a good psycho pretty well. So yeah, Season 3 was a good season. Like, when you take a look at the first 2 seasons before that, it was lacking something. And it didn't help that there were only 18 episodes of this season because of the writer's strike that year. And I think this is what eventually did in My Name is Earl after the 4th season. But Season 3 was a good season. You had, like I said, you had Craig T. Nelson, you had Alyssa Milano, you had Michael Rappaport, who had a great role as Frank. He used to own the trailer that Earl lived in but he kind of conned Frank out of it. So, and Frank doesn't know anything about this. But yeah, season 3 was a good season, but there was definitely something lacking to it. But it was still very enjoyable. I felt it was still very enjoyable and is definitely fun to watch that season. Coming in at number 3, it's kind of funny that this one is at number 3. We're kind of doing like flip-flopping around here. Coming in at number 3, this was just a fun season. 27 episodes in all in this season. And it was sadly the final season. And it, maybe I should have made this number 4, but then, it would have been 4-3. Well, we'll get to the rest later. I don't want to give everything away. But I'll get into that in a second. But coming in at number 3 is the 4th and final season of My Name Is Earl. When I think about it, I think the reason why season 4 gets a higher rank than season 3 is because there were just so many terrific episodes in this final season. You had Darnell Outed 2-parter, where Joy's new husband, Darnell Turner, is outed as a CIA operative, and his father's played by Danny Glover, so you can't go wrong there. You have Bully's episode, which is a funny episode. It deals with Earl picking on a kid when he was a kid, who grows up to be this bodybuilder but doesn't want to do anything sissy. So when you're a bodybuilder, you can't wear like basketball shorts and you can't be hairy. You have to have the gleaming chest and the little tight Speedos. So Earl has to help the bodybuilder overcome all that. And while that's going on, Randy is dealing with problems of his own with his own bully and Joy, and he gets injected with shark testosterone into his scrotum. It sounds as bad as it is. And then you probably have my favorite episode of this season. It would probably rank in my top 5 of favorite episodes of My Name Is Earl. That being Pinky, where Randy thinks about a lost love when he was a child, but only turns out to be someone he least expected. And then you have Dodge's Dad, the series finale. It left on such a cliffhanger that you wanted a 5th season, or you wanted something to answer every question that was left. But no, it was just left to be continued with a question mark. It was like, how can you leave it like that? Like, honestly and truthfully, if I was doing a countdown of my top 5 least favorite series finales, that would be on there. It wouldn't be number 1. That would go to another show, which I may talk about in the future. We won't talk about him right now. We'll talk about that another day. But you had great episodes in this season, but then you had that series finale, which I think kind of is the reason why season 4 is as low as it is. But you want to talk about a season that had great episodes and deserved to be at the number 2 spot, you have to talk about the season that is at number 2, which had a great storyline from beginning of the season to the end of the season, that being season 2. Now, the whole subplot of season 2 deals with Joy wanting a big screen TV that would rise out of the cabinet system. Well, when she finally saves enough money to get it, she leaves it outside. During a storm, it gets completely wet, and the store will not accept the item. So Joy steals a van full of merchandise from the store. And it also has somebody inside of it as well. So not only do you have grand theft added to that, you have kidnapping. So while this is going on, Joy is trying her best to, make people see, oh, she's not as bad as everyone makes her out to be. So while that's going on, you also have Earl trying his best to quit smoking, getting his GED. Him and Randy get their own apartment, so they're not living in the hotel anymore. They're living in a hotel. We'll get to that in season 1. But in a complete act of selflessness in the season finale, it's Earl that falls on the bullet for Joy and says, it was me. I'm the one who I'm the one who took the truck and kidnapped the guy, because he didn't want to separate Joy from her 2 kids, Dodge and Earl Jr. well, we'll get into the family lineage here in season 1, but he knew that Joy couldn't live her life without her kids. So he went to jail for her so she didn't have to, so she could continue to raise her kids. How can you be mad at someone like that who does something like that for their ex-wife, no less, who cheated on him? But season 2 was a great season. Some very, very funny episodes in this one. And it has my favorite episode in it, Our Cops is On, where the people of Camden are on an episode of Cops. And it is just hilarity at its finest. And it's a 1-hour episode where everybody is sitting around in the Crab Shack. That's the local hangout spot. And it's just boring Sunday afternoon until Randy's looking through the TV guide. It's on. What's on? Our Cops is on. Turn to channel. So, just, it is a great, great season. But I think the one that tops season 2, well, there are only 4 seasons. We've already gone through 3 of them. It's not hard to see that season 1 gets my pick as the best season. So this is what the description says on the back of the DVD. Earl, played by Jason Lee, is learning the hard way that when you do something bad, it has a way of coming back and biting you in the butt. Hoping to turn his life around, Earl's got a lengthy list of detestable deeds to make up for. From stealing a one-legged girl's car to avoiding a nasty breakup by faking his own death. Winner of the People's Choice Award for Favorite New TV Comedy, My Name is Earl is wildly offbeat and hilariously irrelevant. That it definitely is. And yeah, that stealing a one-legged girl's car is as bad as it sounds. But season 1, it was just a launching off point for My Name is Earl. And you got to meet all the characters in this season. You met Earl. You met his ex-wife, Joy, who was a psychopath. You met Randy, Earl's lovable doofus brother. You met Catalina, the hotel maid / stripper. And just you met Darnell, who's probably my favorite character in the whole show. Joy's side man, who would eventually become her husband, because they thought that Earl Jr. was his father. But then everything that happened at the end of season 4, it got a little confusing and a little hackney. But season 1 was just fantastic. Wonderful writing, wonderful acting by everyone involved. Well, you can say that through all 4 seasons. Jason Lee did a great job. Jamie Presley as Joy. Eddie Steeples as Darnell. Ethan Suplee as Randy. Just wonderful, wonderful job. Ethan Suplee has such a resume behind him. He was on Boy Meets World. He was in American History X. He was in The Butterfly Effect. So wonderful pedigree behind him as well as everybody in the cast. Jason Lee was in a bunch of Kevin Smith movies. So how good he can be. So, final thoughts on My Name is Earl. It should have got a better shot than it did. It should have at least lasted 1 more season. I had the high five where I talked about shows that should have ended a long time ago. Earl is a show that should have had at least 1 season to wrap everything up that happened in season 4. Like, who's Dodge's real father? Do we get to meet him? What's going to happen between Joy and Darnell? Those are all answers that I would have loved to receive, but because of the writer's strike the year before, we didn't get that because Earl was canceled, unfortunately. All the actors have gone on to do different projects now, and it's been too long of a time, but I would love to see something someday about Earl and what happened to him in that time. I had to watch the boys grow up and see if Earl completed all the tasks on his list. It's just something that I like to see, and if you're an Earl fan, I'm sure you'd love to see it too. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below how you ranked My Name is Earl. I'd love to hear that. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can, be it on Facebook, Twitter, any social media outlet. Over my shoulder right here, you're going to see a link to last week's episode where I talk about Disney's Pete's Dragon, both the 2016 reboot and its 1977 original. Don't forget to click the link down below to be taken to the Irish Bandit shop where you can get all your Irish Bandit merchandise. We have t-shirts, we have leggings, we have coffee mugs, we have travel mugs, we have stickers, we have cell phone cases, smartphone cases, Galaxy, iPhone 10 has just been added. So pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise. I get a small percentage of the profits, and all money raised will go towards making this a bigger and better channel for your viewing experience. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to subscribe. Click that button underneath this video and you'll be subscribed. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to tap that bell and you'll be notified whenever I upload anything new. Next week, My 5 returns, and I am talking about my 5 all-time favorite anime movies. And then in 2 weeks, it is the very first live Irish Bandit Revolution. It's going to be called Irish Bandit Live. We're talking about the state of the channel then. And I'm going to be talking about my next Irish Bandit Live, which will be coming very, very soon after. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. Take care.